Welcome to Disrupt and Discuss with your hosts, E and KayCee. A Boucher Ventures production brought to you by It's Just ETV and My Herba by the Fitness Collective. Now, without any further ado, disrupt and discuss.
All right. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back. Welcome to Disrupt and Discuss with E and KayCee. I am
Hey.
E.
I'm KayCee.
That's KayCee. I got to get my fingers. For those who are going to be watching this on YouTube, I'm going to point the right way. But for those of you who are just listening to this on audio, don't worry about it. Okay. But this is episode 3.
Nice. There we go.
We got episode 3. We are going to be talking about what's on your plate. What's on your plate? That is the title, right? And so we're going to do, like we said, we're going to come with our own little swing, our own little swingy thing on certain situations. And so when we're talking about what's on your plate, we're talking about generational eating. Generational eating with regards to your preferences, our habits, things that we grew up with, things that we dealt with on a generational level. So each generation has their own type of scenario or situation with regards to how we ate. And so we're going to tap into, shameless plug, we're going to tap into those generations and talk about each generation and what the generations that have come before us up until today, what that eating looks like, those habits, those traditions. Ready, KayCee?
Ready when you are. Let's do it.
All right. So what do we want to tackle? Let's tackle baby boomers.
Okay.
Baby boomers. So baby boomers, if you're a baby boomer, and I had to look this up because I'm like, which one am I? I always get confused. Which one am I? I ain't no baby boomer. We ain't baby boomers yet.
No, we're not.
We're not. Baby boomers were born between 1946 to 1964. Like a play on the last 2 digits.
Yeah. Now that you're right.
Yeah, like looking at it. So if you were born in between 1946 and 1964, guess what? You are a baby boomer. Okay? And so
You old.
you say, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
They are. My mama and them age. That's my mama and them.
Mama Nil.
Mama and them. And when we talk about baby boomers, so what were they eating? What was they doing? What
Well,
was going on during that?
back then they were they were getting home cooked meals. Eating out was more of a exception than the rule.
Correct.
You know,
Right. It was a
even when I
luxury.
was, yeah, exactly. I mean, even when I was a kid growing up, maybe Friday night and maybe a
Right.
payday Friday night. So it
Right.
wasn't guaranteed every
Yeah.
Friday night.
Exactly. I agree. You are so right. It was like Friday night
Yep.
on a payday. And for us, it was like these kids nowadays, they get fast food all the time. That's when we got fast food. You would get to Burger King, McDonald's, pizza. And back then it was round table pizza out here. So
Yeah.
are we getting round table? Are we getting a big?
See, I was never a Big Mac person. I was always
Oh,
one
you
of
got quarter
pounder with, yes, quarter pounder
Yep.
with cheese.
with
Yes.
cheese.
Yep.
Me too. I love the Whopper and a quarter pounder.
And remember McDonald's had the McDLT.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
was good.
Yes.
It's probably
No,
still sitting in my colon, but that was
Right.
good. Yeah,
Well, back then the food was made different too.
it was.
Yeah, we don't talk.
Yeah. What's up with that? That's another episode.
That's another episode. But yeah, for big, where it was like eating at cooked meals. They cooked breakfast. You went to school, you ate lunch,
Yes.
and then you came home and dinner was cooked, right?
Yeah.
The only time you literally, as kids, ate out was like eating at cafeteria at lunch, or like you said, on a Friday.
Yeah.
Friday or payday. So yeah.
And
there was a lot
payday
of-
Friday.
And then there was a lot of, even back then it was canned goods, but canned goods were made different, right? Didn't have all the stuff because we are coming off of what was not depression, but
Well,
What was that?
when people had to ration a lot of their foods, you have the potted meats
Yes.
and because my grandmother used to have a pantry, and she'd
Mm-hmm.
have Vienna sausages, she'd have devil
Girl,
the
devil
devil meat,
ham.
yeah, and she'd have her crackers. So you might not. So that was your fast food between your other
Yes.
meals, and then you had the what is it that
Even
food cart?
sardines.
Oh, yeah.
Even
Now they
the
got
canned sardines with
and you had
crackers.
that key, and you're turning, and
Yep.
God don't
And
let
you
the
turn it.
key break. We were
Okay.
screwed. So half of a sardine, that was it.
You bring it back memories. Absolutely. That was the baby boomer era. Young folks who y'all eating out, door dashing all day, every day. That wasn't even heard of back then. That wasn't even heard of back then. You
My,
actually had Big Mama and them, your mama, Big Not, they could cook.
oh yeah, my grandmother thought it was a waste of money and just time to go to the fast food place. Why you do that? You can make that at home.
The hamburger made with Wonder Bread, though. Stick to the
I know, but now that I'm in that seat of a grandma, I could have made that shit. And I'm not really that well of a cook, but I could have made that crap.
Right,
And
I
the
agree.
thing about it, the food is just even taking the quality out, it's just so damn expensive. So now me and my husband will go out to eat, and if we hit $30, we're like, well, shit. Can we imagine if we had a family with us?
Right.
You give it
You
water all around.
because you're gonna pay 100 at least
E
right now,
easy. And then you
easily.
gonna play in the food. I'm gonna whoop that ass in front of
Right.
everybody. I probably go to jail, but
You're like, you gonna eat, or you taking it home? We gonna doggy bag it in.
somebody gonna cut it up, put it with some eggs. I don't care. You do that.
You're gonna put it with, yeah, okay. It's gonna get repurposed.
Somebody's gonna eat it.
Okay, it's gonna put some rice, add some extra rice, something. It's gonna get repurposed.
Oh yeah. But I mean, that's
Okay.
where the baby boomers came from, because that's, like I said, it wasn't necessarily depression per se, but
Right.
they grew up knowing that you had that at home. You weren't
Right.
spending all that extra. You didn't have that disposable income to begin with to go on and do that. There's always exceptions to the rule. Somebody, did. But I
Right.
know in my family, that was not the case. I mean, we
Exactly.
weren't dirt poor, but we weren't the Rockefellers either. Maybe like Sunday after church or something, maybe you got to go and get something to eat. But again, these are rare. It was the exception rather than the rule.
Absolutely. And they, like you said, it wasn't the depression, but if you were a kid in that era, your parents were probably
Exactly.
coming off of that. So they were very into rationing food, storing food, getting cans,
Pickling.
right,
Yes.
things of that nature. And they also grew their own food, like my grandmother. She had a garden, so she grew her collard greens, her tomatoes, her okra, peppers, things of that nature. They knew how to grow things. And my other grandmother on my father's side, we used to go to a grower. We used to go to the farms in Brentwood, Oakley, Brentwood.
Oh, okay.
And we would go pick. She had peach tree, a lemon tree, orange tree in her backyard. But we wanted to pick strawberries, or we wanted to pick snap peas and stuff like that. And we would go out there and we would go pick them, and then you weigh them and pay for them and then bring them back. And so, that was that era where really the food was better. The ground that the food was being grown in was better. Even canning back then, it was a different process, all the additives that they add into canned stuff now didn't exist. So this was a lot different. Food was a lot better quality.
Wow. Yeah. And now the next phase is Gen X. So that's where I come into play. That's 1965 to 1980. And things were a little bit different. We ate out. As I got older, we ate out a little bit more. I remember when they were trying to really get the TV dinner affected really well. And oh God. And you had to remember to put that foil over the dessert.
Right.
Because it was going to be,
what
is it? Cranberry crumble
or brownie,
which was fucked up on the edges, and it was raw in the middle. And it's like,
raw in the middle.
Geez.
We dating ourselves.
Yeah.
Chicken pot pie.
I
the turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy.
And
not the meatloaf.
But not just any pot pie. I wanted the pot pie that had the dough at the bottom, not just the dough on the top.
Not at the top. I don't like when they just put it at the top. You got it all around.
Well, if you tell me on the box, and I am aware enough to read the box, and I leave it on the shelf. Now, Man, that dough was the best part.
It was the best part with the gravy, right?
Yep.
Y'all don't know nothing about this. If you do,
Man.
comment. If you do, comment.
But yes, I mean, and then they started more of the convenient side of stuff started to really happen. And
Yeah.
then you could see people's health starting to slightly decline because now you're getting into all the preservatives and additives and all this kind of
Right.
stuff. So yeah, and it was easier, not as easy as it is right now, but before it was easier to get a lot more food and you can get it cooked quickly and that
Right.
had you less time in the kitchen. That was the whole thing. At that point, you had both parents out there working, so coming
Yep.
home
Gonna
and
say
cooking.
that.
Whereas in the Black community, I don't know too many places where that was not a thing. I've always known both of my grandparents, parents all work outside of the home. So
Right.
nobody was really had time to stay home to cook. But again, you had a lot more people out there, dual incomes. So people weren't at home to cook.
Absolutely. I was just
So
gonna
that's
say
when you
that.
started to have that.
Exactly.
Yep.
I was gonna say that too. Baby boomers, you were still like in the traditional where if you were married, most people were married, 2-parent household, husband worked, father was out working, mother stayed home, took care of the house, cleaned the house, washed the clothes, cooked the food, cooked the meals, all that stuff.
Right. And, and again, it's like that was the traditional, but as far as how I grew up traditionally,
Mm-hmm.
and again, in a Black household, I don't know too many people where the mom stayed home. Everybody, even way before they started having this women's lib and all that kind of stuff, not to get all political, but there always were two people working in the household. It wasn't, there wasn't the luxury to, honey, you stay home and I'll take care of everything. No, everybody had to get out and do their part.
I know when my grandmother first came to California, because she's from Louisiana, she worked. And so
Mm-hmm.
she did a lot of working. But I know at a certain point when we were growing up, she wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
So she took care of us. She took care of the household.
Right.
And our grandfather, he's my bonus grandpa. I'm going to say bonus. He worked. And so she stayed home and she cooked, cleaned. She took care of us. As my mom went to work, she would drop us off to her because she lived right around the corner from our school. And so we wake up, we go over there and she make breakfast, come there from school and she would make dinner and then we go to our house. But she didn't work. She didn't work. Just for a certain, when she first got out here, yeah. But after, I want to say maybe 20 years, she wasn't, and she was at home most of the
Right.
time.
But she still initially,
Yeah, she still
she had to get out there and do her thing. She didn't have that opportunity to say, oh, I'm going to just put my feet up and eat bonbons.
No, not at all. Not at all. And then my mom, yeah, I'm a Generation Xer as well. My mom, I was a latchkey kid. We were latchkey kids.
So was I. Latchkey, yes.
So we had to get it how we get it. When we woke up, she was already gone to work. Came home from school, she was still at work. So we had to make it do what it do. And then when she got home, she would cook dinner.
Yeah.
So that's how we did it.
Ours was a little different. I mean, my parents, we all were up around the same time, but they were leaving. So where yours were already gone, mine were in the process of leaving. And we had Pop-Tarts, you had cereal. That's what we had to eat. And then again, when you talk about latchkey kids, I think about what I had to do. And then I think about my kids, or even more recently, my grandkids. And it's like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way. I don't trust you. I was taking, on my way to school, I was dropping my brother off at daycare. I had to have been about in the 4th grade.
Yep.
So everything was still on the same route,
Yep.
getting there. But I would drop him off at daycare, continue on my way to school. After school, I'd come by, pick him up after daycare, then we come home.
Yep.
And my parents still weren't home. And I had that ribbon, that thick yellow ribbon, and I had that one key around. And here's the thing. The school knew, because I mean, you didn't hide it. They knew. And then at that point, we just come on home. We couldn't go outside. You don't dare go outside. That's your ass if they caught you outside. But then we had housework to do. And then at some point, my parents ended up getting a divorce. I think it was like in middle school. So me and my brother still do our thing. And I was making dinner.
Yep. You grew up, my mom was a single. So we didn't have dad in the house, but definitely the going to school, getting up early. My mom didn't have to call to say, get up.
Nope.
We got up. My mom didn't have to come home. When I came home, we did our chores. We did our homework. We didn't have to
Yep.
be told to do our chores and do our homework because guess what? If it didn't get done, somebody else don't give up.
And or they'll make an example out of somebody, so they'll
Okay.
just have dissension in the ranks. I'm gonna whoop his ass, and y'all make it right.
All right, you watch.
Yeah,
It's you if you keep messing up. Exactly.
but a lot of that it shapes you for who you are as an adult because you had to be disciplined. And we were kids, so yeah, you screwed off sometimes, and nothing was
Right.
perfect. But
Right.
yeah, I had to go pick up my brother. We had to make something to eat, and again, the thought of burning down the house,
Wasn't even an option.
no.
You were too scared to get your butt whooped. You would be scared to get in trouble. Okay.
Well, that was back when, here we go, it depends on the parent,
Right.
but you got your ass whooped. And I don't mean
Right.
beat beyond recognition, but
No.
my parents, I think maybe they talked twice, and
Yep.
the third time, that's automatic ass whooping,
That's
or you're
it.
going to get popped.
Right.
Sometimes I'll hear people say, okay, so-and-so, stop, don't do this. And this goes across all color lines because
Yeah.
now I see all of them. You better snatch a knot
That's
in that
your
last.
Okay. Not to get off that, but when you see him in the grocery store, you see him in the store, you're like, do I need snacks for you? Do I need?
I'm ready to snatch
you-
the parents' ass because they're doing that. The kids are doing what they get away with because
Right.
not that we've got the corner market on how to
How to
raise your
children.
kids,
Right.
but there's a certain tone that I'll have.
Mm-hmm.
And even my grandkids, they're like, oh, shit, here we go.
Like she not playing at that
Yeah,
point.
because
it's not a game.
no, and even now if I go to the store, and here we go back to Gen Xers as kids, when we were getting in the store, before we got out the car, you know what I'm going to say? Don't ask for shit because you ain't going to get shit. I tell my grandkids that. I said, look, you stay right with me. If I turn, I want to almost fall over you because you're right there by me. I'm not going to go up and down the aisle, call your name. Because if I got to do that, we go into the car. I'm going to tear that ass up. We're going to go back in the store and you'll never go with me again.
Wait, they also tell you don't touch nothing. Don't.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Get your butt. Don't get your ass. Don't touch nothing. Don't ask me for nothing. Don't touch nothing.
Because the answers already know. We're walking in the store. Don't ask for shit because the answers already know.
This is our childhood, y'all. Come on.
Well, and the funny thing is, my husband was with our grandsons one time. They went to what is it, Little Caesars Pizza. And they were sitting there. And one lady was like, are those your kids? He goes, so my grandson. And she goes, oh, I was expecting them to be running around. And then he looked at her like, you know what generation we came from?
Right.
We're not having that.
Don't you see on TikTok, what do they call us? The Generation X. They call us the fuck around and find out generation. Yeah. And it's the truth. Fuck around and find out.
It's because see, my thing is, if I see somebody acting up like that in public, I can only imagine what you're doing at home. Because you're that comfortable to show your ass and talk back to your family like that. Me and my mom don't have the best relationship, but there's a limit. There's a line I won't cross. Even at my old age, there's a line I'm not crossing.
Okay, and that's disrespect.
Exactly.
Man. But yeah, so that's generation. What else can we say about Generation X? That was the more like, definitely the working class, definitely for sure you saw more women in the workplace, more professional women, more women were working 8-hour jobs, attending school, and we really didn't have, especially in certain communities. I'm just going to say certain communities. You didn't have the mom at home doing household things.
Right. And I think we also were health conscious. You were starting to get conscious about your health. I remember doing the Jane Fonda workout. I remember Richard Simmons coming out on the scene. You were just kind of more concerned about your health, not necessarily, and then don't forget Olivia Newton-John, let's get physical, all those kind of things. With all that stuff. But yeah, you were starting to be conscious. I mean, there's always going to be those people that were conscious, even way back when, about what they ate and everything. But it was starting to become mainstream. People being concerned. And even if you were vegetarian, that was like, wow, really?
That was like, what are you doing?
What do you eat?
We had the pyramid right back then. So that pyramid. They're like, what? No meat?
And
you're going to die. You're going to die.
Because you need your protein.
You need your protein.
Oh,
you need your protein.
But things were starting to happen at that point.
I agree. And then to what you said, as kids growing up in the Generation X, we were we had those fast meals, those microwavable, put in the oven type meals, Pop-Tarts, put it in the toaster oven, which we're talking that really heavily processed food.
Yep.
Where it's really starting to, still not to the level of it is today, but nonetheless, it was introducing us to fast, quick, and easy food that wasn't necessarily good for you.
Oh yeah, less time in the kitchen. Keep it going. Keep
Yes,
it going.
keep it going.
You got to
Instead of
catch
getting
that next train, that next thing.
Instead of getting eggs, bacon, eggs, toast, you pour in cereal.
Yeah.
Lucky
Now you got egg bites. I mean, come on now.
You got all kind of crazy mess that they got out there.
Well, it's funny because the other morning, because my grandkids are homeschooled, I get up and I'll do breakfast and everything, and just the idea of it was turkey bacon that I don't eat if they had it, and I said I'm gonna just surprise them. I gotta tell you, it was nice waking up smelling bacon in it. Even though I was the one that was cooking the shit. I put it in the oven, and I did it like an hour before they woke up. So the smell was lingering through the house, and I was like, man, that was what it was about. Yeah, because you wake up and grandma or even mom, depending, you smell the food cooking, the sausages, the egg, the biscuits.
Yep.
And again, I wasn't gonna be working in the field, so half of that food I really didn't need to be eating.
Right.
But that, again, switching back to the baby boomers, that's what they grew up with, because you had activities that you needed to have that type of energy in your body to keep you going.
Yeah, they didn't have sedentary jobs.
No.
So like they do now. Yeah.
No, not at all. One car per family, or you caught the bus. And
one bathroom per house.
God.
I don't even know how they survive with one day bathroom, one toilet.
If you weren't first, oh Lord, you better hold your breath.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know how.
Yeah, we were living large. We had 2 bathrooms.
Oh, you been living vida loca.
Yes, I sure was. But we didn't have central air, so we're in the neighborhood where we live. I mean, the area of California, the Bay Area, you didn't have to have an air conditioner.
No.
So you'd have like maybe 4 days of like real hot weather, and then it would cool itself off.
It would cool it up. Yep.
However, mom and dad had that air conditioner in their window in their room.
Right.
And that's where the second bathroom was. Right. So I didn't see them in the summer. Or Saturday morning when they would lock the door. So I don't know what went on at that point.
You can just imagine, right?
I don't want to. Please don't make me.
That's a dang shame. I still don't want to know. I don't want to know how I got here.
They picked me up at the local grocery store. That's all I could say, because my parents.
I'm still giving it to the store, girl. I'm still giving it to the store.
I'm just going to get on to the next subject. I don't want to talk about that one. I backed into that by accident.
Okay, by accident. What we got? Millennials.
Okay, that would be what? 1981 to 1996.
1996.
Damn.
Our kids.
Yeah.
In that era.
Yeah.
Yeah. And millennials, that's when we're talking about. We full on working. We full on. Everybody in the household got a job. They're literally figuring it out by themselves, per se.
Yeah.
Still work responsible. I would still say they're still the generation we taught our kids to fix food, come home, do what you got to do. Now, did they do it right all the time? Mainly not. But we were trying to institute the same thing that we grew up with. It just wasn't going over as well as we were.
Well, right.
We were like, and then we were trying, I don't know about you, but I was trying not to be like my mom and be like with that Mac hand down all the time. Hand down. I was trying to, let's talk. What's going on? Try to talk to him.
And I did a little.
Yeah. But then you figured they respect the smack.
Well, and I didn't, it's equivalent to that, meaning when the kids were coming up, I wanted to at least give them the responsibility of learning how to clean their room, do this. Yeah. And then they were getting an allowance. Right. That was a short-lived situation, because after a while I got tired of telling you to clean your fucking room. Now you knew when my payday happened. You knew Thursday night I was getting paid Friday morning.
Right.
But still your bed looks like shit.
Right.
So I got to the point where I said, you know what? I'm not giving you no more allowance. Your housework is still going to be your housework because we all have to contribute to be in this house. And if you need things as far as money, if you're doing something, well, you'll get your money. But I am not paying you no more. You knew when my payday was coming. They knew when I had an extra fucking payday. And I was like, yeah, no. So
Our
they'll
kids are
tell you,
smart.
I stopped paying them an allowance. They would, their other friends would say, I get an allowance. They go, we don't get one. You don't? Hell
Right.
fucking no. You don't get an
No.
allowance because you are part of this family. You got your stuff to do to keep this household the way it should be. Now, anything they needed, like I said, financially, we were there to help them. But I ain't
Right.
paying you to do the shit you're supposed to do around this house.
No.
So
No.
that was part of when you're saying how baby boomers and Gen Xers, we were still trying to instill some of that for the
Right.
millennials. And
Right.
then it got to the point because my husband and I, we were commuting. Now we live in the suburbs and I was working in Oakland at the time. So that was like an hour commute. That's when I'm in the car and we were leaving at the
Right.
crack of dawn. So
Right.
when it came time to washing clothes, my weekend was around washing and folding clothes.
Yep.
And we
Yep.
had a lot of freeze dried outfits because I just didn't have the energy. I hate folding clothes. I could wash me some clothes,
Did you
but
say
I am
freeze dried? Did you say
freeze dried. And so something had to give. And so I think my oldest was maybe 11. The youngest was
Mhm.
9. They
Mhm.
learned how to wash their clothes. There was a lot of pink outfits, a lot of days.
Oh,
However,
God.
they had to sort and they had to wash
Right.
and dry.
Right.
And so they had their own baskets and everything because I was physically tired commuting, doing a job, then come home to that other job. And I
Right.
couldn't do it anymore. And so when my daughter went away to college, obviously years later, and she was an RA, she would tell me, she was, "Mom, I can't believe the kids that don't know how to wash their own clothes."
Right.
And I said,
Right.
"You're welcome."
Exactly. They
And
don't
she's like,
realize what you're doing until until they get older. They don't
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah.
Right.
And then sometimes she would cook dinner because she got tired. Here we go. Got tired of the fast food. So she would cook her dinner. Now, every once in a while we would order not like they do now, but like for her birthday, one of the places we really love, I'm just gonna say I love Junior's cheesecake. So I
Right.
would order that and have it sent to her dorm, like for her birthday and stuff like that. So again, we always, whether it be money or monetarily, we would do things for them. But
Right.
yeah, they learned how to wash their clothes, take care of themselves. Now, I don't know what their checking accounts look like, but hey, they're on
Oh,
their own. So
God.
they obviously are doing
Right.
okay. But it's work, you
Right.
know?
What did food look like in the house? What was food like would you say, for millennials?
A lot of
What did
it
eat
is,
nutrition?
I think what I've learned, they're more foodies. They're definitely foodies. I just know, like with my kids, they eat, whether it be Middle Eastern, they eat the burgers and fries, but then, you got DoorDash dropping off something else. They eat Hawaiian, they everything. I'm like, what the hell are you eating now? Oh, that's so much. Or they go have this big sushi fest and they got sushi all over the place. So I
Right.
think they're definitely more open to various types of food. And then you got the fusion type. So they're
Right.
more into that. Whereas I was more of a crock pot. We gonna do
Right.
meatloaf, spaghetti, the stuff that sticks to you. Still
Sticks
kind of
to you.
letting go of the baby boomers, but I still have the baby boomer ways with the crock pots
Right.
and all of that. The
Right.
meals for the week. These
Correct.
ones now, shit.
Yeah.
They done
That's
they
what I was
done
gonna say.
ordered.
They had DoorDash, Instacart, they everything. Everything.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. For millennials, it was more the big crock pots of food. So you making big old thing of spaghetti, chili, chicken, stuff that you can eat on for the week. So therefore, if
yeah,
I'm not here, go in there, heat you up some food. So they came from that. But I also too, like what you said, their palate was a lot more vast because all the different, especially in California, we are a melting pot of
yes,
different cuisines, different types of people here. So you Chinese, sushi, Mexican. We love Mexican. We don't do Tex-Mex Texas, but we do
I don't even know what Tex-Mex is. What is that?
Tex. is more down south, Texas. They do a lot of puffy tacos or let me know in the comments if you think I'm lying, if I'm not getting it, but they are more like the fajitas and that type of stuff.
Sense.
They, not like Mexican restaurants where we go to where it's more to be more traditional.
Well, see, and you're right, because where I grew up in Hayward, so it was a big Hispanic population. So I grew up with first generation kids, and that's where that whole Spanglish thing came into play because at home they had to speak the traditional language. And then at school, they were speaking English. And some of them were in my Spanish class. And I'm like, why are you in my Spanish class? Because they understood Spanish, but they didn't know how to speak Spanish, which is where that whole Spanglish came. Because I would be there and the mom would have a full-on conversation. You're like, yeah, it's over there in the bread box. Yeah, you can go. I was like, what? So that's when I knew where the Spanglish part came into play. But yeah, we definitely, I should say, they definitely have a better vast experience with different food for sure.
Exactly. They were more open. Open. And now we got the Gen Zers. Born between 1997
that's
and
that
2012.
I generation, ain't it? Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We all need a trophy. Okay.
Yeah. We had that discussion right there. Everybody's a winner. Everybody. No.
You know,
there's first place. Winner. That's it.
The second place is the first loser.
Yeah,
it's like, come on.
You lost. Okay? That's it. Unless you run in track, whereas first, second, third, but still, first is winner. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay? We ain't going. But yeah, absolutely. They have, I think, for this generation, they're also more of the internet generation.
Oh,
like, the millennials were like definitely in the cusp of that. They're included, but this generation right here, oh my God, talking about just sitting up and playing video games and not doing anything. More introvert, I would say. Definitely not playing outside. Definitely not. Definitely not going a lot of places. And I would say their palettes are definitely vast because they have the DoorDash.
Oh, yeah. What do you feel like today? I'll just DoorDash it.
Parents have given them a credit card for them to use to order their food, to get around. It's not as pertinent for them to have driver's license.
Oh, yeah. Why would you? Because you can Uber everywhere.
Right. You can Uber everywhere. So it's a lot. They're a lot different. But again, the food now has definitely changed. So for them to be as sedentary as they are and the types of that they're getting, this is where you see a lot more children with diabetes, a lot more children with
high blood pressure.
High cholesterol, because they're not moving, they're just on their phone. You literally see a kid. If you see a kid outside walking a dog looking at their phone with the little dog leading them, and they walking just as slow as they want to, I rarely see young kids riding bikes through the neighborhood. A group of them.
Yeah, it's almost a thing of the past. And we didn't even talk about the electric bikes, the other one. And I said, you know what? We rode up the hill, or you got off your bike and you walked it up the hill. But either way, it was manual, period.
Right. No skateboard, no skates. They don't fall. If they fall, they got to go to emergency. But I came in the house. I didn't want to get called in, so I sneak in, have somebody give me a Band-Aid, run some water on it because I still want to stay outside.
Hell, you drank water out the hose. That was the best water. That was the best water.
You can't do that no more. You can't do that anymore. So yeah, it's a lot different. Their food everything is processed. Most of their stuff is processed. And it's funny because they have the most information. They're the generation of information, right?
Yeah.
Everything is at their fingertips. But a lot of them don't have any knowledge of what they're putting in their systems or how it's affecting them and why they're getting sick or why they're stressed or depressed and things of that nature. It's what you're putting in your mouth and the lack thereof of activity.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of the lack of activity, because even I have to remind myself that no matter, even when I'm stressed, you still have to do some sort of exercise because that helps to relieve stress.
Yeah.
But it's something that's very simple, but at the same time, it's hard for me to remember that. And I'm guilty of that. I don't have time to get on I have a bike over in my room, and I get on it, but then I don't get on it enough for as amount of time that I'm walking around it.
Right.
And
well, at least it's not. Is it hanging your clothes? Is it a?
No, I have a chair in my closet that
Okay.
that holds all my clothes. I
Okay.
clean it off, and then I start flopping stuff over again, and it starts wobbling, and
I'll accept that.
and I keep on.
I'll accept that. The ones I don't accept is them Pelotons that's turned in the closets where they just hanging their clothes on the coat.
Yeah, no, and I think because my it's not a Peloton, but it looks like a Peloton, but it's out in the open, and I just think that would just be. I need to keep my shit in the closet and keep it in a dark space. So I wouldn't want you to see me hanging all my shit on there. But I do get on, and I try to do at least 30 minutes. And, but hey.
Okay. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I ain't even going to explain how my closet situation with my closet look. We're not going to talk about that. That's a whole nother.
Yeah. And I will never bring you into my closet because it is just disgusting. It's like you're on this show and you're talking about what? And look at you.
Right.
Hot kettle. Okay.
Right. Okay. But yeah, this new generation and the food that they are eating is definitely different, right?
Well, and you got the food trucks too. So that's another thing that they have.
Yeah. Everything is easily accessible. There's not a lot of manpower that goes with, what they have to do. And you also find a lot of folks, I feel, they don't know how to cook. They don't know how to cook simple things. They don't know what it smells, what it feels like to get in the kitchen and actually
cook to taste. How's that?
Cook to taste, exactly.
Well, no, is it a half a teaspoon? Is it it's a full cup? Girl, you got to cook with feeling.
Right. Just put some in there, taste it, and then some more as you go.
Yeah. That's why Grandma wasn't hungry when we got ready to eat dinner, because she's been tasting every damn thing.
You are so right. You are so right. They're like, the recipe calls for it. Bump all that. But it don't taste right. And if it don't taste right, then it needs a little bit more. It needs a little bit more salt.
A little bit more. They said, put your foot in it. You got to do it.
Thank you. I would at least say that's what they're missing. But I do see that there's some that are trying to come back to eating right. You do have more, I would say, younger people that are plant-based, that are educated with regards to not wanting to eat meat. You do have those, but we have more so folks these young kids that are growing up eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a fast food drive-through. Which is unfortunate.
Yeah. So when you tell them, oh, well, we're going to eat dinner at home. Oh, you're going to order in? No, I'm going to cook.
Right. Or, okay, how about this? When you do ordering nowadays, kids, I don't want that. So you can have DoorDash for three different locations, 3 different types of cuisines coming to your house, because not everybody wants to eat the same thing. Not my grandmother.
No, that wasn't an option.
That wasn't an option. Then you just ain't eating. You're not gonna eat. And no, you're not going. Don't try to sneak into the kitchen later. Get you some crackers. Get you something. Nope. And sometimes they would make you sit there. You gonna eat something.
Oh yeah, you can get your ass whooped, or you gonna eat, or you're gonna just eat. But either way, the end result is you gonna eat.
You gonna eat, exactly. But nowadays, you get 3 different. If it's 5 of y'all in the house, it's maybe 3 different types of cuisines coming in the house, because nobody wants to eat the same thing, and that's commonplace now. It's nothing.
It is.
It's the norm.
I mean, I can't even get mad at it because it happens here.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I'm not the one
paying for options.
Yeah, and what do you feel like tonight? What do you feel like tonight? I'm like, they don't have nothing to do with me.
Nope. We can have sandwiches, Chinese, and Mexican all coming to the same house.
Yeah.
All coming to the same house.
And don't forget, then you got the dessert drop off. That happens too.
Girl. Okay.
So, yeah, I wasn't going to say the word, but yes.
I have to leave that. I'll get sugar diabetes.
I've eaten. I'm not generally a sweets person necessarily, so I've tasted it. It's not bad, but again, by me not really being into sweets, I like the chips and that kind of stuff. That's more me.
You like savory, salty.
Yep. and I like my wine too. All right, there we go.
Okay. Then
But
there's that.
that's a whole nother thing in itself. And plus, it's the holidays. They got the holiday beers out.
Okay.
Man,
Man.
see, that's why
Okay.
I have to work out. That's why I have to continue working out, and I have my trainer. I don't talk about the beer drinking when I'm with him, but that helps.
Exactly. You have to have, it's a balance. It's a healthy balance.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
even with being plant based, as when I first started, it was like, oh, everything was cut and dry. Now, as
Right.
I mean, we're talking damn near 20 years into it, and it's like,
Right.
I do like this particular ice cream.
Right.
It's a plant based. Ain't nothing plant based about that shit.
Ain't nothing planned.
However, I might get a small cup of it so I can get that taste, and then I move
Yep.
on. And then I might
Right.
be go on plants all the rest of the time. But that's one of the things I've definitely have come to realize with my journey, my eating journey. I'm not going to beat myself up. And now I'm not into the whole steak thing because that's just, it's out of my system and I don't have that
Right.
taste anymore. And I'm not going to go,
Right.
pig. If you do it, there's some people that you almost get convicted for what you're doing or not doing. But
Right.
for me, it's what life is too short. I'm eating healthy as much as I possibly can. And if I want a fucking cup of ice cream from Costco,
Yeah.
that vanilla whipped.
With
Oh, a
that
bitch is in
swirl.
there.
Okay.
Well, you can throw a swirl. I'll do that. But I'm just talking about the regular vanilla that Kirkland
Oh my
has.
God. I am on with ice cream because I don't particularly love ice cream, but for some reason, these Haagen-Dazs ice cream bars with chocolate and almond.
Oh,
Let me tell you, this summer it's been a struggle. Been a struggle. I done got the mini box with just 6 in it, thinking I'm just gonna get the minis. And I still end up eating 3 of them at a sitting. It is.
Oh, wow.
I had a problem.
Yeah, but you work out. So what I mean by that is you know how to counteract that.
Yeah.
Unlike there's some that just sit around and talk about it.
Absolutely.
So, and it's no more, like I said, we used to hype. My plantar fasciitis is like, bitch, what the fuck are you thinking about? That is just not going to happen anymore. So that's long gone. But,
Okay.
I go to the gym. Like I said, I have a trainer. And like I said, one of the things that I used to try to do, and I know that trying to get into bodybuilding and
Yes.
getting thin enough so you can see every muscle and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
The only problem with that is, I tell people, even when I had a last conversation about it, you look great. You can see, you look like a damn anatomy chart, but you
Right.
are the most unhealthy, the weakest
Yep.
of your fucking life.
Yep.
And
What
so
you've done to get to that.
yeah, and it's unattainable. You cannot maintain that for any long period of time. That's why you have 16 weeks out or however long out from your show that you start doing that.
Right.
And now what I do, I still want the muscle, not people, and I know but not everybody
Yeah.
knows once you start lifting weights, you're not going to start looking like the Hulk. But I still want that muscle mass because what I keep trying to tell people, when you build muscle, you're protecting your fucking bone. So when you do get older and you fall, you're not breaking your bone.
Right. You're not.
And that's what your muscle is there for. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
So I do
falling and
can't get up.
And I can't get up. Exactly.
Exactly.
That's where that comes from.
And I'm like, no way. So if I can morph myself to be, then that's even better. So I power lift, still have to watch what I eat, but it's not as restrictive. I am still doing what I want to do. Goddamn. Got it. You still got to do what you do.
I agree. You definitely have to, if you are working out or if you're eating right most of the week, get a little cup of something that you really want to eat just to satisfy that craving. Because if you don't, guess what? It's going to stay on your mind, stay on your mind. And then you end up doing something. You usually end up going overboard.
Exactly.
And then you've blown it. Right. So just satisfy a little craving, get it out your system and keep it pushing. It's just, you have to get in that mindset.
Absolutely. And one thing we're still on millennials, right? Because I mean, I think there's a little one after that. But
Generation Z. We're on Generation Z.
Oh, Generation Z. Lord have mercy. Yeah, I can't even begin to talk about that. I don't even know. I don't even know, really. They're definitely food for sure. I mean, foodie out the door, and everything is social media. Everything. I don't even think they watch. I mean, I don't watch regular TV, but I know they don't watch regular TV because
No,
everything is
everything
there.
is YouTube. Yep,
Yeah,
YouTube,
yeah.
Discord, everything is, those Twitch, all that stuff that's the commonplace for them. So yeah, they
Oh
don't
yeah.
even need the cable box. They
No.
don't even want TVs in their room. My son is like, I need another monitor, big screen monitor. So
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
he's not even no TV. No, it's
Well, yeah, and then a lot of them, and I know like with my kids, because my kids were millennials, but I don't know about this other group. They weren't even worried about getting their driver's license.
no, they're not.
I mean, when I hit 16, I couldn't wait. Give me the keys.
Exactly.
Both of my kids were like 18.
Yep.
I'm like, why? Well, here we go. They were going to the mall. That was getting played out, but they were doing the mall. So now, like I
Right.
said, with Gen Zs, everybody just Ubers everywhere. And
Uber.
I've never,
Yep.
I've had my own car, so I don't Uber. But, and see, here's my mindset. You're getting in a car with a fucking stranger.
Right.
I cannot get that concept out of my head. And growing up with a cop
As
for a
taxi,
dad,
but it's somebody's personal. It's somebody's personal car.
somehow taxi didn't seem so much of a stranger, but you're pulling up
Right.
in your Escalade. Okay, who is? Well, it's Dad. It was so and so.
Right.
And besides the obvious things that have happened in the world with that kind of stuff, but just in general, I'm just talking from like a common sense approach of it.
Yep.
I grew up with a dad for a police officer. So my mindset is such, you don't get in the car with strangers, first of all.
Right.
Some of the family
Right.
members you don't want to get in the car with. But,
True.
strangers. I got this stranger. Yeah, I got a picture of him.
Right.
And then you tell me I got to make sure that there's not that lock on the inside of, again, you in the car with a fucking stranger.
Exactly. It's stranger danger to the team level. I agree. I definitely agree. I've done Ubers, but yeah, I can see not having a car. I could never see not having my own vehicle. I do it when I'm out of town at convenience, especially when we go like to Vegas or that. If I don't want to drive, I want to get somewhere.
But this is California, meaning everybody is in a car.
Yes.
Whether it's a hoopty, something. Do they even say hoopty anymore? Probably
I don't
not.
know. I don't think.
Yeah, fuck it. But anyway, it's just, everybody had a car.
Right. Right.
And it was just like, I don't know, I forget what movie that was. I think Steve Martin movie or something, when he's in LA, which is different than Northern Cal, but he was still in LA, and everybody had this long driveway. So they would get in their car, drive all the way down to the end of the driveway, get out, get their mail, get back in the car, and go right back up the, yep.
Exactly.
So, and I mean,
that's kind of the place.
yeah.
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore. They be like, I don't want to get a license. And then they got Teslas that supposedly going to be driving for you. Yeah, it's not a
We
big
were
deal
in the
anymore.
city last weekend, and we were riding right next to one of those cars that doesn't have a driver in it, and somebody was sitting in the back on their phone, because I was looking. I was like, because I wasn't driving, but I was like, my God, I've always seen them like on TV, but
Yep. And that's not me. I can't do it.
yeah,
I cannot do it.
look, I wouldn't get in the car with a driver. Now, how the fuck I'm gonna get in the car without a driver?
Without way. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's our Z. That's our Gen Z, y'all.
Yeah, trusting
Very
until they're not.
trusting.
Yeah.
Until they're not. Yeah. And then everything's out. Well, that's a whole nother. Yeah. We got a whole bunch of topics.
Yeah.
But you guys, we did it. We did it. This is in the books.
Yes.
Episode 3. I hope you guys have enjoyed us. If you have, leave comments. We love to hear your comments.
For sure.
This is our new podcast, Disrupt and Discuss. Again, I'm E.
And I'm KayCee.
There you go. And we will be back with another one. Hit us back soon. We'll be back on here again. But take care. And we are gone, you guys. Bye.
Bye.